Hello, everyone. This is Howard Fox, and welcome back for another episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast, where we celebrate individuals and families, businesses, and organizations that seek out and promote the exploration, stewardship, conservation, access, and enjoyment of the outdoors. Breanne Dusastre, the Director of Marketing for Visit Twentynine Palms, is our guest today. Twentynine Palms is a premier travel destination in California's Mojave Desert. It's located just a stone's throw from the famous Joshua Tree National Park and my personal favorite place, the Mojave National Preserve. Breanne, it is really a pleasure to have you on the podcast. I'm excited that we're going to be chatting today.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much, Howard. Very excited to be joining you today.
Fantastic. You know, when my business partner, he and his team are reaching out to the DMOs, for our listeners, Destination Marketing Organization, he said, Howard, you ever been to Twentynine Palms and Joshua Tree? And it's like, yes, Ryan, I have. And knowing that you and I are going to be chatting about this wonderful area of California and the desert, I'm just very excited. And, you know, first off, tell us a little bit about yourself, Breanne. How did you get to Twentynine Palms?
Oh, that's always a good question. I left, let's say, big city life behind in Toronto, Canada, very much in the spirit of adventure with the husband
Yeah.
at the time. And, you know, the market had just crashed. Toronto's a very expensive city to live in. There was family already in California. And so, I mean, it seemed like a pretty spontaneous thought at the time of, what about California? And more specifically, what about the California desert? And to me, it was so intriguing and exciting and unknown. I had been to, Northern California, other parts of the state before, but never to the desert. The desert has always been this place that lived in my imagination, mostly through photographs and film and things like this. And, when I would think of the desert, I'd think of Nevada or Arizona or other parts of the Southwest. And so I'll never forget the first trip to, landing in Palm Springs in the heat of the day in May. I think I got like heat rash right away because it was so.
Oh, boy.
And making the drive up from Palm Springs, so it's we're about an hour's drive up to the high desert, and it was just so awe-inspiring, right? This place and the landscape. So yeah, really, spirit of adventure brought me out
Okay.
here.
Very good.
11 years ago.
Excellent. 11 years ago. So I moved from Chicago, very much, to me, Chicago and Toronto are very much alike. I've spent a lot of time in Toronto working. I love Toronto, by the way. And I did pick up a little bit of your accent. It's still there. But so I got out to Nevada. Friends of mine own an RV park in northern Utah near Capitol Reef National Park. So that's where I went first. But then as I was getting used to Nevada, and that's how I started the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast, is I wanted to explore more. And I ended up meeting this gentleman who took people out on trips in the Joshua Tree National Park. And so that May, for my birthday, and so if you want to send me a birthday card in May, that's quite all right. For our listeners, that's it. Joshua Tree and Twentynine Palms is where I ended up for a couple of days just exploring. It's like a wonderful area. And like you, the desert, there's just something about it that just, it really kind of touches your soul in a way.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like it's the kind of place where, there is, some who still have that perception that there's nothing out there, right? Yeah. Which I've never thought would be true or to be true. And for me, even all these years later, I feel like it's such an intriguing place because the more you look, the more you dig, the more curiosity you have, I think the more you uncover and the more fascinating it is. I mean, just every aspect of desert life and understanding how plants and animals adapt to survive in these harsh climates. And it just goes on. Such a fascinating place.
Yes. And so I am curious, Twentynine Palms, I mean, just the idea, the name, just, it provokes curiosity, I think, or promotes curiosity. So how did Twentynine Palms become Twentynine Palms? What was the kind of story there?
It's a great question that we love to answer every day at our city visitor center. And really, so the story, the whole human history of the high desert area, when I say high desert area, we're talking Twentynine Palms, Joshua Tree, Pioneer Town, the whole kind of full high desert, Morongo Basin area. So the story really begins at the Oasis of Mara, which is one of 5 natural desert oases that the National Park Service preserves as part of Joshua Tree National Park. You could imagine that water in the desert is a pretty precious and rare resource, right? So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
the Snow Mountain fault line at play. And so the early Native American tribes, the Serrano and the Chemehuevi, were the first to discover this water source in the desert and began to farm and grow things and sort of set up their community. They lived peacefully and, together, which is a really special thing also at the time. This oasis is a mile long. I'll quickly note that visitors very much can still come and walk and explore all of this great history and natural history as well. So please come out and visit the oasis. But the legend has it that the tribe's medicine man said that every time a baby boy is born, plant a palm tree. Of course,
Okay.
women listening are going to go about that. But anyway, that's what the legend. And so many years later, when the area was first surveyed, the gentleman stood and counted 29 palm trees in this very distinctive long line, and that's how
Okay.
area got its name, 29. So we get asked all the time, like, where are the 29 palms? Are there still 29? Like, it's a fun
Mhm.
conversation piece for sure.
Oh, okay. Now, because this episode is about Visit 29 Palms, and I know, and for our listeners, Joshua Tree National Park is probably one of the most well-known of the country's national parks, probably the ones up in the very far north, Yellow
Yeah.
Glacier National Park. But 29 Palms is very well known. And we'll leave it at that for right now. But what I'm interested too is why are if I wasn't going to go exploring in the Joshua Tree, why am I coming to 29 Palms? And whether it's in the heat of the summer, which I'm sure it's very hot, but I mean you are a 365-day a year destination. So what's
Mhm.
exciting right now going on in 29 Palms?
Well, that's a fun question because there's a lot going on that's very exciting. Of course, a lot of our leisure travelers are coming into the city to visit Joshua Tree National Park and Mojave Trails National Monument and Mojave National Preserve. And we're very proud to be the primary gateway into this national park and home to the park headquarters and a brand new visitor center. But I think there's a lot to experience and enjoy in coming to the city. We've got a fabulous arts and culture scene. We have over 20 large scale murals across the city. Excuse me. So each of these large scale historic murals tell a little piece of the community's history and culture. That's a really fun experience to kind of plan your self guided tour around the city. We've got fabulous art galleries that put on rotating exhibits and workshops. We have such a thriving kind of community scene now. A lot of new business owners have come in. Excuse me. We have some amazing new boutique shops to walk around and explore, some great new restaurants, and a new microbrewery that's just opened.
Okay, very good. So when I was visiting, this was back in 2021 because I had moved to Las Vegas in 2020. I remember, and one of the main thoroughfares was this great barbecue restaurant. I don't remember
Ah, the
what the name was.
Ribco.
Yes, okay. And I remember then going into town, and I remember there was a Army Navy surplus store, and across the street there was a restaurant that where you could sit outside or sit inside. I don't know. I think it was maybe Mexican food or something like that.
Echada's
And
still there, thriving as
okay,
ever. Yeah.
this is good to know. I'm a foodie, by the way. So
Mhm.
if you tell me there's now a new coffee shop, I'm all over that. So
Oh, well, let me tell you, the new microbrewery is also an amazing coffee shop. So they open at 7 a.m. every morning and make
okay.
really a cup of coffee,
Uh,
cappuccinos, anything you're after.
Okay, so I think I need to. Well, I already know I need to come back and visit 29 Palms again. Now, what what types of activities are going to be available? The winter activities beyond just you got the arts, the murals, the galleries, a couple good restaurants. Are there other activities that the visitor is going to? Are they coming for a weekend with the family? Are they staying for a week? What's that typical demographic look like for you?
Yeah, we see a pretty broad mix, which is very cool. So we welcome families that come, over the holiday breaks and are here for a week. We have a lot of our dear snowbirds from the Western Canadian provinces that come down and spend
Hmm.
a month or more with us. Certainly, we welcome a lot of the weekenders from LA and San Diego and the big cities in Southern California, Phoenix, Las Vegas as well. So, yeah, I think, to come out and spend a weekend with us in 29 Palms, certainly having a chance to explore the natural beauty of the national park is a wonderful part of that experience, taking in the extraordinary night sky and again, just sort of coming to see us and immersing yourself in the kind of local culture, right? Coming into one of our hip new restaurants and kind of pulling a chair up at the bar where you can sit, alongside with some of the locals and really kind of get to know the people in the community, I think is a really cool. And we have so many exciting events coming up in the next couple of months as well.
Well, what are some of those events?
A lot of the most notable upcoming events are very much outdoor recreation themed. We are so excited through our new sponsorship and event grant program to be supporting the first ever professional bouldering competition.
Okay.
And I have to get ready for this
Okay.
because you can't say this in a normal tone of voice. So coming December 13th and 14th is the first ever 29 Palms Rock Rumble Royale. So this
Wow.
is the first of its kind in the climbing industry. And it's a really cool event because it's really a climb for a cause event. They're giving out upwards of 16,000 in prize money. 70% of that, of course, goes to these professional athletes that are going to be coming in from really across the country.
Mhm.
And 30% of that is going to go directly back into some of the really important nonprofit conservation focused organizations in our community.
Okay.
Cool.
Speaking of conservation, what are I know like the national park. I know for a fact there's going to be a Friends of Joshua Tree National Park. There's a Friends of Mojave National Preserve, and you
Mhm.
also have the other monument. What are some of the other nonprofits that are going to benefit from this type of major event for you guys?
Yeah. So, as you've mentioned, there is a great organization called Friends of Joshua Tree. We've got the Joshua Tree National Park Association. They do really great, important work throughout the year. And also the Mojave Desert Land Trust is a
Mhm.
very important organization in our community who will be part of this as well.
Okay. Is how has the infrastructure in I love and a friend of mine that in fact I just published his episode last week. He loves, as do I. You go in the center of town, you sit
Mhm.
down. For my case, with a cup of coffee. He likes a drink, maybe a cigar. I don't smoke, but whatever. But and just sit and watch. So, how has the infrastructure in 29 Palms just to support the not the active, I gotta go climb the rock and go bouldering, but I want to just sit back, relax, and just visit and do some slow traveling, so to speak. How is the infrastructure and the availability of those opportunities come about for like the new visitors coming into town?
Yeah, I love that question. First, because it touches on the idea of slow travel, right? Which is
Yeah.
not a new travel trend per se, but certainly one that is growing in popularity. And I think 29 Palms is a really great destination for that sort of type of mindfulness or a sort of
Mhm.
intentional exploration. And when you mention infrastructure, of course, I think first of Freedom Plaza, which is a beautiful downtown revitalization project that was nearly 10 years in the making.
Okay.
And it's been such a game changer for 29 Palms. And it's really now like the new sort of beating heart of our community. And what I love about it, and a lot of things to love, of course, especially from the tourism perspective, and that
Mhm.
it brought a beautiful new outdoor event stage, a multi-purpose community center where we can host different types of events. It also has created a brand new visitor center space for the national
Mhm.
park. I think what is really cool about it is that it is supporting both the growth in visitation and tourism for our city, but it also, I think, really is contributing in a positive way for our residents, right? And creating this
Mhm.
new center space, a place for the community to come together and to gather. And so it's really, I think it's really, we're seeing it come to life and sort of doing what we hoped it was going to do, I guess, to
That's
say.
very good. That's very good.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping you will indulge me for a little bit. I would love if we could, through the modern technology, maybe take a little tour of 29 Palms using your website as our guide. Are you up for doing that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So this is again the miracle of modern technology. And there is my share button. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to share. Where are you? There you are.
Visit
Uh,
twentynine.org.
yeah, everybody's going to see Howard cheats with show notes, but that's okay. All right. So I'm assuming you can see the 29 Palms website right now.
Mhm.
Okay. So here we are. I love that picture. I know that rock. I think I tried to climb around it.
So
Uh,
there you go.
so take us on a little tour here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right. I mean, we first, want to introduce you to the beauty of this landscape, right?
Hmm.
California's Mojave Desert, 29 Palms. We are in the southern boundary of the Mojave Desert, which,
Okay.
real notable, California desert is 26% of the state, and there's three distinctly different desert regions: the Colorado Desert, Mojave, and then to our north, the Great Basin Desert.
Okay.
So we love to just introduce 29 Palms to visitors and give them that sort of context and place. Again, we're the gateway to Joshua Tree National Park and Mojave Trails and the greater desert region.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so site visitors can very quickly and easily kind of branch off into different sections of this site. Of course, the things to do is going to highlight all of the key attractions from the art galleries, art studios, things like that. The places to stay is going to send you right over to our lodging page, where you're going to discover that 29 Palms has the area's biggest and best variety of lodging, everything from national brand hotels to boutique inns, historic motels, vacation rentals, RV resorts, and goes on and on.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. I
Restaurant.
remember when I stayed there, the hotel, I think it was the one that's on your photo there, had all these palm trees around it. It was right near like a glass house or something, or
Ooh, Glass
did you?
Outhouse Art Gallery.
Yeah, right next to, there was the hotel right next to it, or
All
motel.
right.
But
Yeah.
it looks familiar. Okay, I
Yeah.
digress. This is
Uh,
about you,
you've
not
got to
me.
come back, right? It's been a
Uh,
couple of years, Howard. There's
it's
so
but
so much to discover.
exactly. Well, I
Uh,
want to come back for more food because I'm a foodie.
there you go. Right. You have to come back. You have to, get a beer at the new 29 Palms Beer Company, dinner at Kitchen in the Desert, breakfast at Cactus Trails Cafe, lunch at the 29 Palms Inn. I mean, it's endless opportunities.
Okay, we're going to talk afterwards. All right.
Yeah, so we've got, of course, the full collection of all of our great restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
nightlife highlighted, arts and culture, family fun, outdoor recreation.
Mm-hmm.
We will always have sort of seasonal blogs, stories on this homepage here. So
Okay.
you're seeing some of the fall pieces, what's new, and highlighting some of the best in fall stargazing. We're spotlighting now all of the wonderful upcoming holiday events through the month of December. So
Sure.
you're going to find the latest stories and news there.
Okay.
Stargazing is a
Uh,
big important part of this site and
oh
what
yeah.
with 29 Palms. So you'll find a quick link there to Sky's the Limit Observatory and Nature Center. They put on amazing monthly free stargazing programs in the annual Night Sky Festival.
Okay.
Yep.
Very
All
cool.
Yeah. Of course, the events calendar.
Okay.
Now that if there's one page on our visit29.org site to bookmark and come back to on a regular basis, it would be our events calendar.
Okay.
Um, excuse me. So we
All
are
right.
adding that on a nearly daily basis.
Okay. And you actually have a 29 Theater 29. I love
Mhm.
that. Sound of Music.
Sound of Music is coming
Okay.
up. Yeah, very
Yeah.
exciting.
There's your climbers and then there's the
Yeah,
bouldering. Okay.
yeah. Pouring
I'm
snow.
of that age. It's like if my feet are not on the ground, that's
Hey, well, let me remind you. So 28 Palms Rock Rumble Royale, which is quickly approaching. So you can buy a spectator pass. right? And
Okay.
you can come just sit with us and watch all of these extraordinary athletes compete. Comfort of your camp chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. More
Yeah.
artwork. I love that. More
Yeah.
food.
More
Nice
food.
little
Spotlight on some of our native wildlife. Yeah.
native wildlife. Very
Yeah.
cool. Now
Yeah.
you've got Facebook page, you're on X, you're on YouTube, Instagram, and I did notice, and we'll put it up in in the show notes, those links. Somewhere I noticed there was a hashtag visit.
Visit
Uh,
29 Palms. Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, this is wonderful. Now, is there a place that like with the events that you just register for, like you're going to get notified, or is there a tour PDF file that you would get from the site?
Yeah, good question. So each of the individual events on our calendar are going to link
Okay,
you directly over to the event organizer's site, whereby you
okay,
can then register or purchase your tickets. We
okay,
have at the bottom of the site, and this is accessible on regardless of what page of the site we're on. You can
okay,
subscribe to our e-newsletters and
okay.
therefore receive upcoming event notices from
Oh,
us. Email. Mhm.
there we go.
And you
So,
can also download a digital visitor's guide as well. That'll
okay,
have
I love that. Digital
training
visitor guides,
tips.
I think, are just absolutely wonderful. You got
Yeah, exactly.
contact info,
Mhm.
info. Okay, perfect. Well, this is great. I mean, this is a cool site. By the way, you've got a great logo. I mean, I think I need a, like right here, there's my sticker, but I think that logo needs to be here. So next time I come, I'm going to get, hopefully there's a sticker. So there's a hint. If you
Oh,
don't have
hint, hint.
stickers, you need a sticker.
Mhm.
That is
Mhm.
like a really cool logo. I love that.
I'll have to send
Excellent.
you some stickers for sure.
There you go. Well, thank you for taking us on this tour. And I'm excited because I actually want to come back and visit. One of my first guests on the Outdoor Adventure series was Travis Puglisi. And I've had 2 episodes with him, but he actually takes people on multi-day trips. I barely lasted a half a day. So needs to
Great.
be in a little more shape, but we'll give a shout out to Travis, Wandering Mojave Hiking Services,
Mhm.
but he
Mhm.
also does education programs out in the desert, and I just think it's just a phenomenal area, and there's just something about those Joshua trees that are just very exciting. This is great, and again, I appreciate you taking us on this little tour. So I am curious now if as you kind of think back to now your experience and being a part of 29 Palms, the director of marketing, what for you, and this is kind of a gotcha question. So I kind of told you, there's no surprises, but this is a surprise and you're going to rise to the occasion. I know this, Breanne, but for you, so your young one, what's the soul of the place for you? When you kind of just can sit back, relax, what really just kinda makes your heart sing in the moment being out here at 29 Palms?
Ooh, that's a good one. And you've caught me. I mean, there's so much that I love about 29 Palms and the desert region. And I think, we're in such an exciting new sort of era in 29 Palms right now.
Mhm.
There's such an exciting new energy and momentum. And, a lot of new, business owners are now part of our community. And there's just such an extraordinary sense of like collaboration and shared vision. So I think it's got a great feeling to it, if that helps to answer the question a little bit.
'Kay.
And, it's the desert, right?
Mhm.
So it's maintained a little bit of edginess still, as I think, it's part of the nature of the desert.
Mm,
And again, I just think based on the people that are in the community right now,
mm.
there's this really lovely collaborative movement happening.
Okay, fair enough. Good answer. So I am curious, in our show, I often ask 2 questions. One is the aha moment, and the other one is the insight to go. And I look at the aha moment of when you kind of stop for a moment, it's kind of tapping into the soul of the place. But when you realize you're here, you're the marketing representative of 29 Palms, you're trying to get families to come in, heads in beds and cash register singing and have this wonderful experience. But what really, you know, stops you in your tracks and like, wow, I get to do this?
Oh, that's a fun one. I think I'll say that so given the nature of my job, we are a very small, mean and lean kind of team. So I do my job from the visitor center office, and that allows me the privilege of being able to interact with visitors nearly every day. So I would say really I probably have aha moments almost every day,
Okay.
which is a really lovely thing, right? In that the door opens and in walks a family or in walks, a couple or a solo traveler. And to just see like their joy and the awe they have coming to this place for the first time. A lot of, our visitors are first time travelers to 29 Palms and to our area. And, there's nothing greater than hearing them share their excitement and their joy of not only were they just in the park, but oh my gosh, the experience they had at the new restaurant last night, or how cool these little shops are down the street. And I think it's also been really rewarding. We've put a lot of energy and investment behind our sponsorship and event grant program this year. And it's a lot of work to get all of that going. So I think it's really rewarding when you have first-time visitors walking through the door who are here because they've been drawn in by some of these new events that we're planning.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And before we head out, what would you like to share with our listeners? I mean, we have 2,500 to 3,000 downloads and viewers per month. And what do you want them to know about 29 Palms, and why should they be planning this on their future itinerary?
Oh, that's a good one. If you have any interest of coming out to explore the California desert, 29 Palms is where you need to be.
Okay. Very good. Very good. I noticed in the show notes, you share this wonderful quote with us: wilderness is not a luxury, but a necessity of
Mhm.
the human spirit. I love that. And I imagine that that has a special place for you as well.
It does. I love that quote by Edward Abbey. And I think it, resonates deeply with me on a personal level and also given the nature of the work that I do. I think there is something so profound about the experience of being out in wilderness. I
Mhm.
think it's so important for us on, a spiritual level, on a physical level. I think, those kinds of opportunities are so powerful in helping us sort of keep track of what is important and what is essential in life. So, certainly I'm here to say, come to 29 Palms and stay at our hotels, dine at our restaurants, visit our shops. But really, I think we're offering such an extraordinary opportunity to come out and be in the wilderness, which I think is so, so important for all of us.
Very good. Very good. Now, if our listeners would like to learn more about the 29 Palms, where are the best places for them to go?
Our website is a great starting point. Visit 29.org. We have, again, you can opt into our e-newsletters there. You can download our digital visitor guide. You can hit the contact button and get in touch with myself and my staff directly through our website. We run the city's visitor center, so you can reach us by phone, or if you're, of course, in the area, then stop in and see us. And we're here to help inspire your next visit and help make the most of your time you have with us.
Fantastic. Well, we will definitely have those backlinks in our show notes. And really, just our hope is that we get a lot of listeners. Hey, the great episode. And now we know we need to go to 29 Palms. And
Mm.
really, Breanne, thank you so much for spending time with us today. It's been a pleasure to get to know you. And really, it's exciting because here's a place that I've been to even before
Mm.
I was podcasting in the outdoor space, and I knew it was very special. And so it was actually just after. I'll figure that out date wise, but I know it was right around the time I was starting the podcast, and Joshua Tree and 29 Palms was the place for my birthday. So hint hint everybody. But so thank you again for spending the time. I hope we do justice for you and really help to promote this location and the desert. It's beautiful out there, folks. So thank you again for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Howard. My
Uh,
pleasure.
all right. Listen, stay in the line. We're going to do a real quick close and you and I can have a final chat.
Thank you.
All right, folks. We have just been chatting with Breanne Dusastre, the Director of Marketing for Visit 29 Palms. Really, if I tell you, if you haven't been out to the desert, You got to take care of that. But if you have not been into the Mojave region, if you've not visited Joshua Tree, Mojave National Preserve, the Mojave Monument, and really this really neat little town, 29 Palms, you have to make some plans to come out there. And really just a great way, as Breanne was saying, with whether you're an individual, a couple, maybe you're bringing a family, figure out what's best for you guys and the time of the year you want to visit. This is the desert, so you really have to be aware of your surroundings and just pay attention to the signs and read the books and have lots of water and sunscreen and a good hat. That's what I remember. But this is a wonderful place, and now you really get to take advantage of the town and the development that they have been investing in to really make your experience even better. Do go out to the 29 Palms website. We're going to provide the URL to it as well as to the Facebook pages. Now, as for us, you can find this episode on our website, outdooradventureseries.com. We are also on Facebook and LinkedIn with our Outdoor Adventure Series pages. This episode will be up on YouTube, where you'll be able to see the tour of the website. Breanne was very nice to kind of walk us through it, as well as wherever you listen to your podcast, whatever directory. Please remember also to like, share, and comment when it's available. Okay, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, have a phenomenal day, and we look forward to having you join us on a future episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast. Take care now.